There's a question that was asked over 2,700 years ago, and it's just as relevant today as the day God first asked it. What does the Lord require of you? That's not a complicated question, but somewhere along the way, we made it complicated. God took Israel to court. He called the mountains as his witnesses. He laid out his case and he reminded them of everything he had done. He brought them out of Egypt. He covered them in the wilderness. He fought their battles. He kept his promises. And what did Israel do in return? They built a society on dishonest scale. They cheated the poor in the marketplace. The courts were corrupt. The leaders were lying. The rich were getting richer off the backs of the vulnerable. Violence was normalized, and the people who were supposed to speak truth, the priests, the prophets, they were preaching for profit. But here's what makes it worse. They were still going to church, still bringing their offerings, still performing the religious rituals. They thought if they just did enough religious activity, God would overlook how they were actually living. God called that an abomination. Now, I'm not here to be political. I'm not here to point fingers at one side or the other. But I am here to be honest. Because if you look at what God describes in Micah chapter 6, and then you look at America today, the parallels are striking. We have corruption at the highest levels of leadership. We have systems where the vulnerable are overlooked and the powerful protect themselves. We have media built on spin and half-truths. We have violence that has become so common, we've almost grown numb to it. And yet, the majority of Americans still identify as Christian. So how do we hold both of those things at the same time? How do we claim the name of Christ and live in a way that is completely contrary to what Christ stood for? That's not an accusation. That is an examination. Because before we point at the culture, God's word requires us to look at ourselves. Micah 6 and verse 8 says this, and I want you to hear it. He has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. 3 things, that's it. 3 things. Number 1, do justly. Live straight in your business dealings and how you treat people and the words you speak. Justice isn't just a courtroom word. It's a Monday morning word. It's how you handle your finances, whether you keep your word, whether you treat the person at the bottom with the same respect you give the person at the top. You can't march for justice on Saturday and be unjust in your own home on Sunday. Number 2, love mercy. Not just show mercy, love it. There's a difference. The Hebrew word is Hesed. It means loyal, covenant love, the kind that stays even when it's inconvenient, even when the person doesn't deserve it, even when you didn't deserve it and God gave it to you anyway. We live in a culture that celebrates tearing people down. God requires people who build others up. Number 3, walk humbly with your God, not ahead of him, not setting your own agenda and asking him to rubber stamp it, not so far behind you lost sight of him altogether, but with him daily, closely, in submission to his word and his will. Humility is not weakness. Humility is the posture that keeps us correctable. And a person who cannot be corrected cannot be used by God. In closing, Israel thought God wanted bigger sacrifices, more religion, more ceremony. And God said, I don't want your rams. I want your life. America doesn't need more people who identify as Christians. America needs more people who live like Christ. And that starts not in Washington, not in the courts, not in the culture. It starts in here. So I'll ask you the same question God asked his people. What does the Lord require of you? He already told you. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly. The question was never what God wants. The question is, what are you going to do about it?